Welcome to Lost in the Woods, a 15-day countdown to the worldwide release of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. In this series, I'm dissecting one game from the Zelda franchise every day with the goal of separating the core Zelda game elements from the fluff. I'll show you how Breath of the Wild is the culmination of 30 years worth of Nintendo defining, losing, rediscovering, and finally perfecting exactly what makes a Zelda game great. Nintendo did the impossible. It took 8 years of middling success, but they finally made a game better than Ocarina of Time. Rather than try to do anything fancy or bizarrely innovative, they flexed their polishing muscles by building a game that followed the pattern of Ocarina of Time and brought it to the logical conclusion. Twilight Princess is Ocarina of Time, just bigger. It's Ocarina of Time, just prettier. And it's most definitely Ocarina of Time, but darker. Gloriously dark and realistic. It was the first time a Zelda game was made for an older audience, and it came packed with all of the required visual post-production grit. They refined everything from the character development, to the dungeons, to the larger-than-life boss fights. They studied everything good from Ocarina of Time and made it 17 times better for Twilight Princess. This was the game that proved Nintendo could make something exactly the way fans wanted it. In my humble opinion, Twilight Princess would make a fantastic and accessible film for general audiences, with Xanth, Ganondorf, and the Twilight Realm making up the most epic and picturesque plotline settings to date. And the physical size of the overworld is just sprawling. Epona isn't just a good idea this time around. Riding her from location to location is required due to the immense amount of distance Hyrule Field covers. In the same way that A Link to the Past perfected The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess perfected Ocarina of Time. Yes, Twilight Princess does what the Wind Waker don't. And that, my friends, is exactly what Twilight Princess is known for today. It's the really cool, knee-jerk reaction to the Wind Waker. Savvy reviewers saw the game for the knee-jerk reaction that it was, and players started asking some pretty foundationally shaking questions. Questions like, what even is a Zelda game? Is it a kid's puzzle adventure a la The Wind Waker? Is it a story that includes Zelda, Ganon, and the Triforce? Is it the dungeons? Is it the ever-debated timeline? Twilight Princess, without intending to, was the perfect embodiment of the current state of the Zelda franchise. Sprawling, convoluted, divisive, and utterly lost. Yes, Twilight Princess is the quintessential title that perfected what they introduced in Ocarina of Time, a far cry from where the series started. Nintendo had shot for the stars and had been thwarted. Where could they even go from here? Well, rather than listen to the fans directly, they took to watching the internet, and the internet told them that the fans were debating the lore. They were making elaborate connections between the Zelda game's disjointed plots. Now that looked like a lucrative niche to fill, so Nintendo set to work to make the best plot their fans could have. But you know the drill, major 3D titles take an inordinate amount of time to develop. So we divert once again, stepping deeper into the woods lost among Nintendo's convoluted evolution of the Zelda franchise. Tomorrow we'll tack both Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks simultaneously, the two most accessible games in the franchise on the Nintendo DS. These are Nintendo's last two games before they commit so fully against their core that they finally hit rock bottom. Finally.